You ask about what is depression. The way I see it, from where I stand or where I'm seated, depression, in a simple form of explanation for me, is the diarrhea of the mind. Your mind is, you think your mind is working against you. It's obviously not you think, but you battling and fighting with your mind. Like I said, diarrhea of the mind. Your mind running as in 360 degree against you. That is what I think, and depression should be explained. But then again, depression is the suffering of intellect, memory, and psychic. But what I mean by that is that you are suffering your imagination. I don't know if that makes sense, because depression is always the fear of the past or something that could happen. Your imagination, it might not even had happened, but you are always and constantly remind yourself that, just like anxiety is always the fear of something that doesn't exist. It might have happened in the past or it might happen in the future. But there are some causes of depression that we can talk about. But just know that I'm just trying to summarize it all before we elaborate or diversify into it, is that all depression are self-inflicted, consciously or unconsciously, but they are all self-inflicted, because you always allow your mind to play against you, and you're emotionally or mentally weaken yourself, expecting some compassion from somebody else. It's quite a pity that you want to live your life expecting compassion from somebody else. If that's a good thing for you, go ahead. But if you understand that whatever your mind is telling you, because it's always depression is always a game of the mind. It's only you that is creating different problem in a different template and format. Problem which does not exist, or situation that never existed. Even though they have existed, they are in the past. That still brings us to what we talked about in one of our episodes about a life experience. If you carry it along, if you carry it over, you know, your body will tell you. Sadness is not depression. Sadness is the bitterness of emotion. That's why you could see something you don't like, you feel sad, or somebody does something, you feel sad, and then you move on. But depression is the area of the mind, is your mind working against you. You're not just sad, but you are psychologically torturing yourself, if there's anything to say like that. So they are not in the same category. You can always be sad and be enlightened within a second, but depression, you are deep into your own thoughts, and you are in self-destruction, like I always say. I don't know if that answers your question, but you can always disagree. Depression is a mental illness, and if one may ask, can it be cured? It takes process, because it took you a process to get into depression mode. It doesn't just happen. So number one is that you have to stop being in competition, or understand that whatever that is going on in your mind is fake, is illusion. It doesn't exist. That is the first step to healing or curing depression. I'm sorry to say, but you can't get cure for depression from external. Like what I mean by, you can't get cure for depression from someone else. People come out of depression when they decide to, or when they are done torturing themselves. Depression, the first step to depression is for you to acknowledge that whatever that is playing in your head is your personal drama, and it does not exist. Understand this. When you get into that whatever, like, kill myself, and then this person doesn't like me, life is worthless, like, you have 1 billion reasons to live. You have 1 billion reasons to be happy. A lot of people are in the hospital who are fighting to live. people who have a lot of money to spend, or somebody to donate any body part just for them to live and experience this life. But you are in one corner torturing yourself, thinking you're doing somebody else, looking for somebody to give you that emotional support. Wake up. Know that whatever that is playing in your head, that's the first step to healing and coming out of depression. And we are open to talk with people who want to talk with us to understand that depression is self-inflicted. Because of your past experience, you suffer. Because of what you're trying to, because of what you fear that might happen in the future, you suffer. Or because you think somebody is doing, you suffer yourself. Get off it, please. So you can always contact us if you want us to talk about it. It's free of charge for now. So we understand, but know that every depression is self-inflicted. I'm not trying to be the wicked person here, but I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Because it's mental and it's psychological. So only person that can help you out of depression is yourself. I hope you understand that. You identify depression when you cannot control your thoughts. And when your thought becomes so dangerous to you, then you're depressed. Because that brings us to my definition of depression. Diarrhea of the mind. When you're having diarrhea of the stomach, you can't control how you go to the toilet. Because it's always like, bro. So when you're having a diarrhea of the mind that you can't control what you think, you can't control the negative, because this human mind is capable, is everything. It can destroy you and it can make you. So if you're in that state where your human mind is at the verge of destroying you, then whether stage A, stage B, or stage 1, 2, 3 of depression, then you are depressed. Know that whatever that is playing in your head does not exist. Medically, they can say anything can lead to depression, but what I am here to tell you is that about the depression, I don't care what or how you get there, because you let yourself get into that situation in the first place. Depression doesn't happen. It takes time. It takes time. It doesn't just boom and you're depressed. It's a long time hormonal, mental mess that you accumulated, and then boom, you are into it. One cannot contact depression. You can't contact depression. But the fact is that a gullible person around you could mirror depression, but you can't contact it. It's not contagious. But a gullible person around you can always mirror, like, trying to be vulnerable, trying to act as if they feel your pain. But the only person that can be vulnerable to you is yourself, and understand that nobody's hearing what you're hearing in your mind, and nobody's seeing what you're seeing. So you snap out of it. It might be difficult, but understand that depression, the only cure for depression is oneself, it's self-inflicted.